estate winning headlines, your media police post. In this segment, we summarize some of the headlines that you might have missed this morning. But we also take a look at the political pieces that we call cartoons in this country. Today is the 27th of February 2019, and I am 2J.
I am 2M.
And I am Miske, your host. Again, in case you missed it, this is the winning headlines. Let's take a look at today's headlines. The Standard, kickback probe, how 4 billion shillings was taken. Daily Nation, RUTO aid caught in dams scandal probe. And finally, The Star, fake Uhuru lived flashy lifestyle.
Where do we begin?
Consistency. Repetitive,
yes.
but consistent.
Yes. You guys want to start with The Star?
Okay, let's do it.
You know I like this story, right? I haven't still gotten over the fact.
I feel like you have a liking for con men.
You know, the short form of...
what con men stands for?
Yes, it's a short form of...
Confidence,
it's from
man.
confidence,
yes.
All right? The fact that you have the guts to mimic the president and earn that kind of money without hurting anybody.
Mimicking the president, I don't think is a problem because, I mean, you've done it. It's been done. It's for satirical purposes. It's funny.
Yeah.
I think that the bigger thing is getting someone else to believe you and to give you money.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, so I think at this point, what we had discussed earlier is that this is becoming very sensational.
I think it is, and unfortunately, I have to say this of The Star, there's a standard that you have set yourself. One of a higher level of journalism, one of independent, authoritative, and provocative journalism.
Yeah.
And not provocative in the sensational nature of this case. And I feel like, and I think you said this before, this is a story that The Sun would run. This is
The
below,
Sun in the UK.
This is, yes. The Sun in the UK.
It's
this
tabloid
is below,
style
yeah, tabloid
journalism.
style. It's below their standard.
I mean, in fact, my
Don't run
favorite
it.
part of this is the heading above. Defendants want to call President Kenyatta as a witness in their case. I mean,
that's
the
brilliant.
audacity.
Do you expect the president to show up in court?
Not at all. He
Not
has
for
no
this.
obligation to do
show,
so.
to show them how his voice looks like?
No, there is no need for him to present a comparison. And
Why-
for
why-
that reason,
why do they
I say
want
we
him-
trash this.
Why
me
do
tell
they
you.
want him in court?
They know that he will not show up.
But for what reason do they want him to come as a witness?
They will not. They
They
know
would
he
like-
will not show up.
They want to prove that they used his voice and it was his number. Otherwise, they say that their case is
They
speculative.
want to absolve themselves of guilt.
Yes.
But guys, I will be devil's advocate today.
For
I
this
like this
paper.
headline. You know why?
don't.
Because in a poor country such as ours, such a headline will sell. When you put
Agreed.
2 words, flashy lifestyle, and you put fake Uhuru, this is
As
a
a
corner
poor-
street.
as a poor
Everyone
Kenyan-
will turn and look.
I'm
As
going
a
to have
poor
to agree with
Kenyan,
2M. I agree with 2M on
refuse
this
it.
one.
As a poor Kenyan, I refuse one to be condescended because I feel like that's condescending for you to say that.
Are you saying
My
you're poor?
life, you said in a poor country such as ours,
Yeah, but that doesn't
therefore
mean
you've
everyone-
placed a judgment on all
I'm not
of
saying
us.
anybody is poor, but you see, there's something about the optics.
Exactly, there is.
If you
You're
put
walking
this-
down the street and you see this story, fake Uhuru lived flashy lifestyle. I'll pick that up because we want to know what the sensational story is about.
and then-
I think you already know what the sensational story is. If you go back, they already stated.
Look at
2 years ago,
Look at
he
this. Look at
went
this
to
guy.
Choppers.
They look like they're from a Nigerian video.
Oh, agreed.
These 3 guys.
I
you know?
refuse.
It looks
The
like they've
chopper in
come
the
off the
background and
chopper, they're
everything.
walking in slow motion, the
And for
chopper
that
is
reason,
spinning.
I will stop you
Oh.
and call back the audience. We have a 3-part criteria. 2M, 2J. Let us not forget our criteria that we use to
Very
break
true.
down the headlines. We ask ourselves, is it topical or speculative?
Yeah.
Please take your headline and ask yourself this question. Is it repetitive or is it groundbreaking? Is it repetitive or is it groundbreaking?
And the final one?
And finally, we
I'll
ask
give you
ourselves, is it thoughtful or is it intellectually lazy?
Okay, a good
Use our
point. A
criteria.
good point that was brought up by a producer is that part of this headline is actually taken from last year. Correct? That this he lives a flashy lifestyle. This helicopter story of how he took 4 helicopters for his dowry, whatever
Payment,
story.
yes.
This is actually a very old story.
It is an old story and
beyond repetitive. It's old.
and it's lazy.
Yes, it's lazy.
Tell me, what do they add? What do they add?
I agree with you because
So using our criteria, can we trash
yes,
this headline?
yes, I think we should.
Can we now stop spending any more time
discussing it?
discussing this story?
However, does it not make you
2J.
happy?
No, it doesn't.
2M, does this headline not make you happy?
I love it. It's
2J, rid us of that headline. The Standard, the Daily Nation, kickback probe, 4 billion shillings was taken. RUTO aide caught in dams scandal probe.
You know, before you go
This
further,
is your pet subject.
Yes. Let me tell you. Let me ask you guys. Do you know there's a relationship between the sale of ice cream and the rise in crime?
Is there really a relationship, and is that relationship causative?
Now, here's a difference. There's a difference between
Because I buy ice
causation.
cream?
Yes, there's a difference between causation and correlation.
Tuem, where are you going with this statement?
Here's where I'm going. Look at this headline very well, right?
I see it.
It's a mixture
RUTO
of
aid.
optics and the headline,
Okay.
right? Now, the key word,
Yes.
RUTO
RUTO
aid.
aid.
Yes.
There is one guy out of 107
I think there
people.
are two
mentioned,
keywords.
yes.
I think there are two
But
keywords.
now,
RUTO aid and scandal.
scandal, right? Now, there is also something else. Two people up here, Raila Odinga and
Gideon had a
Mary
meeting.
met
Yes.
yesterday for 4 hours.
So what's
Now,
the relationship
here's the
between
thing.
RUTO's aid being caught in a scandal?
There was no causation. The lunch meeting did not
The
cause a scandal,
correlation.
but there's a correlation, right? My hunch, it's crazy. I think this thing is going to 2022. It's got something to do with 2022, all right?
Are you?
Now, when you're going to mention someone in bad light, and then you put a picture of his main adversary up there.
Okay, Tuem, I want to stop you right now. I
You are
want you
conditioning the mind.
to get to the point, because even I'm struggling to get to where you are.
Here's the point. You are putting 2022 politics in a headline without actually putting it, all right? You have gone for someone in the name of William Ruto by targeting him and linking him to a scandal. At the same time, you say, and you put a picture here, linking former Prime Minister to
Yes, and Gideon.
and them
Okay,
having
Okay,
lunch.
this is what I'm going to say.
Here's my point. Before you come in, there is a relationship, right, with this headline. They have mixed up the optics. And the
However,
headline.
when we go back to our 3 pieces of criteria,
Yeah.
do they sufficiently fall
Let's
under
go
that?
back. The correlation between the snapshot at the top and the headline.
Yeah.
At this point, I'm going to say it's speculative. And if it's true, it'll repeat itself.
Definitely.
It'll repeat itself, and then we can make that
I agree.
assessment at a later point.
Yes.
But let's go back to our headline. RUTO aid caught in dam scandal probe. What do we think about this particular headline? I feel it is speculative.
I agree.
I agree, most definitely.
And it
it's
continues
speculative.
with the theme of corruption, you know. All right.
So maybe an
You wanna
interesting
put in the
question
parking
that we can address or question here. Is RUTO being set up for impeachment proceedings with this headline? I know I've thrown a spanner in the works, but
Oh, that is a big spanner in the works.
It
But
is.
let's address it for a moment.
okay.
RUTO aid caught in dam scandal probe.
So what
And I don't think- and I
Tuem is
don't
trying to
think-
say is that it was unfair for the Daily Nation to use his name
And scandal in the same
exactly
in the same tangent.
same sentence that has nothing to do with him.
You
And so
know-
therefore by putting him, yes, Tuem.
you know what your question has raised
Yes.
is who benefits from this headline?
Yes.
Cui bono. Right?
Okay.
Who benefits from it? If there's an impeachment, if at all there's going to be one,
Yes.
who's going to be?
And if
The
at all the
beneficiary of
case is
this.
being set up, and not just with this headline, I'd like to call back our cartoons of last week.
Yeah.
We had multiple winning cartoons that presented the deputy president with a scandal with Western
Yeah.
Yes.
multiple times. I think it was 2 different
Yes.
cartoons on 2
Yes.
different days.
Yep.
In fact, 3 cartoons
Yes.
on, two,
Yes.
on two
Yes.
different
Yes.
days
Yes.
that tried to present the deputy president together with scandal. So in the mind of the public, there's this acceptance. There's a level of acceptance of him and scandal,
Yeah.
and
Coming
that
hand in
being
hand, yes.
one of the things that can be used against him in an impeachment proceeding.
Yes.
So is he being set up?
I would think that in the mind of the public, most definitely.
And
I
you
think-
cannot do an impeachment in the court of public opinion. You
But I
have to
think,
take
but I
it.
think that if you
Parliament.
get the public on your side,
Yeah.
it would not be so hard to then take that to the National
Absolutely,
Assembly and
because,
say
because you're giving it motive.
exactly. And so, what have we said about this headline today?
I think it's speculative. We have to ask the question, who benefits from it?
Yes.
And we definitely have to throw this particular headline
Yeah.
out because of its speculative nature. There is absolutely no relationship between RUTO and the scandal. In
Yeah.
fact, his aide is associated with an insurance firm
Yeah.
that carried out its actual function, an insurance function.
Yes.
So you don't know whether that was a wrong thing. Insurance is a good thing. You're protecting the public's money.
And so we go back again
So-
to these statements where every headline seems to be just reporting facts that are yet to be confirmed. Right, they're not even reporting facts, reporting statements. So we toss.
We toss.
We toss.
Final paper, The Standard. Kickback probe. How 4 billion shillings was taken in cash.
Guys.
And
if-
so,
if you're
wait,
not-
if I could hold on a moment. Ms. K asked me a question earlier. If we go back to, I think it was a headline of 2 days ago, questioning the 1 million shilling limit at banks.
Yeah.
And Ms. K asked me, if there's a 1
1
million shilling limit,
Yeah.
how do you go into the bank and
A single bank.
a single bank and say, hi, good morning, I'd like to remove.
I walk in at 3 p.m.
Oh.
and I
4
walk in
billion.
at 7 p.m. I walk out
CB.
at 7 p.m. with 4 billion shillings in dollars.
CBK alarms would go off, definitely.
How?
But then again, guys, here is a story. We are being subliminally conditioned.
To do
right?
what?
You have a headline, you have a picture. Appearing in 2 different newspapers on the same day.
Okay, so I was beginning to buy your argument with the Daily Nation.
Yeah.
However, here you're going to have to
Absolutely.
break that down.
Let me retreat just a bit because there is no mention of the deputy
Precisely.
president, right?
Yes.
But because the Standard has been on a train, right? They've been mentioning these
Yeah,
kickback stories
corruption,
for the
yes.
entire week, and now is the second week. There's somewhere they're going with this.
There's somewhere they're going with this, and I don't think that place where they're going,
Yes.
they have grounded it in pure
In facts,
journalism.
yes.
But it's also not too far away from where I think they're going.
Okay, but
Okay.
still, what does
Which
this
I will not
headline have
say
to do
here.
with this picture, please?
No, this is
Because my problem is just with the headline. I'm still struggling to understand how I would carry that 4 billion shillings in cash, and how I would not have to collate all the money from all the banks to get it. I mean, $3,000 is a big
by
problem.
the time you're
and then
taking
it's withdrawn
Yes, it's
Yes,
withdrawn in
withdrawn
cash.
in
cash.
And then Kinoti says that people now are hiding this cash in their homes.
in their houses, but this story makes no sense. It really doesn't.
But guys, is there something? What do you think of Raila Soup?
Besides
Not
the
the
point,
point.
what do we say about the headline?
I-
2 ends. Stick with the program.
In fact, okay, no. On the note of the suit, it looks like a pajama set, but that's my
Looks-
opinion.
looks
I
like a
wouldn't. No,
magician.
no.
I'm not.
We
I'll stop
will
talking
not go there.
Oh, sorry.
Kickback probe. 4 billion
Speculative,
shillings.
most definitely.
Speculative.
Yes.
Can we toss it?
I think we toss it.
I think
So once again, no winning headline.
No winning headline
Oh,
today.
boy.
On to our next segment, the political opinions that we call cartoons in this country. Let's bring back our papers and take a look at them. I think you've pulled out, which would you like to begin with?
Let's take a look at my favorite, The Star.
I
I'm
think
biased.
Shall we
keep
start?
it, no, we keep it for last because
Right.
it is your favorite. You will
Okay.
bias yourself against every other cartoon.
It's true.
all right. Now where is this thing going?
Again, we have a 3-part criteria that we use to break down the cartoons for you. We ask
Here we go.
ourselves, are they humorous or are they dry? Are they satirical or are they pessimistic? And are they effective or are they just plain lazy? Taking a look at Gado's rendition this week,
Yep.
it's Sudan, al-Bashir.
He declared a state of emergency,
Yes.
al-Bashir, in Sudan, and he is being
A
depicted.
1-year state of emergency at that.
Yes.
Wow.
But before that, there have been protests and food
Yes.
protests, I think, over the price of bread.
Yes, that's very true.
I don't know what this cartoon is about.
Yeah, I don't know what to
This-
make of it.
Okay, for me, I just see the literary value in it. I see al-Bashir as Gulliver or Gulliver, depending on where you went to,
Okay,
to do
to-
your
to- to
English
to
to
school,
school.
right?
And Gulliver's Travels is a story written by an English satirical writer
Yeah.
called Jonathan Swift. He wrote it to depict the English nation and the state of humanity. He was also a pastor.
Right.
And here, one of the first places that Gulliver goes is to a place called Lilliput. Lilliput had little tiny people, Lilliputians.
Yes.
And these little tiny people were, in Jonathan Swift's
Yeah.
rendition,
Right.
the British,
Yes.
the English,
Yeah.
who loved great, grandiose shows of power and authority,
Right.
but were diminutive in stature and focused on small,
Yeah.
trivial things.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how far into the rendition he wants us to go, or just depicting Bashir as the big Gulliver and the people as the tiny Lilliputians.
And if you see, they have actually tied him across.
down.
And this is what happens in
down.
Gulliver's Travels, because
Yeah.
he's washed on shore and then he wakes
Yeah.
up and finds that the Lilliputians have tied him up. Because, I mean, just look at him. His size is a danger to them.
Absolutely, but the small people have finally
They're fighting
put
back.
the big guy to rest.
Yes.
And the
I
only
guess-
thing
I
that's
guess
coming
that's what
up
he's
is his
saying.
head. So are they saying it's the end of a regime?
I don't know.
I don't know, but it
but I
might be
can
close
say this.
to.
I think that this was a funny rendition. I would give this to
I
Gado.
like this. I like this.
It gives you thought.
This is
However, I
thoughtful.
will question, and not because I seem to have a bit of a
Gado.
dislike for Gado's cartoon.
Do
No,
not be tunneled
my
in your
only
vision.
question is,
Okay.
if you do not have
Oh, that knowledge of
yes, the
of
background
Gulliver.
of that story, this
Yes.
It would
it's not
probably fly over
exactly,
your
it might
head.
fly over
It
your
might-
head.
Yeah,
But
so
I mean,
agree with
just
that.
at a glance, you do see Al Bashir as this big,
Yes.
brooding
It's true. It's
Yes.
true.
lord
I
who
agree with
who
that.
has been pinned down by the people around him. I understand that just at a glance.
Yeah.
But with the literary background, I might have missed that.
Yeah.
So
And, okay, and that's true. Perhaps the literary background gives me an added understanding of
Absolutely.
this.
Yeah.
But just
Absolutely.
looking at it, I see you see a big Bashir and the people of
I mean,
Sudan just tying and pinning him
the
down.
way you've
So I don't
explained
know.
it, the way you've explained it, this is a very intelligent cartoon. And you see his shoe is gone. Now they're going to remove
so
the
now
other
the shoe
shoe.
not on his foot is intelligent.
No, it means it means he's finito. He's kalas. Over.
All right.
Well,
what do
okay,
we
so
think?
what can we say? I think we put it in the parking bay. We look at the rest, but we don't
And then we
dismiss
shall
Gado
revisit.
this week.
Yeah, yeah.
I think today,
Very, very. I
That's
find it very
very true.
intelligent. Very intelligent.
All right. Daily Nation. What do we have here? What would appear to
Listen,
be
Wanjiku.
yes.
no offense, but my guttural reaction was that this is dry. I
Oh,
absolutely
very
hated
dry.
it.
Yeah, walking on a tightrope, carrying
Debt
debt and
and
corruption
corruption.
while balancing. I think it's very literal.
It's
we,
very
we know
literal.
we know these things.
It's a bit. It's not. It's very dry. It's very dry.
Yes.
And,
May I help
and
you?
severely pessimistic. Severely
We
pessimistic.
toss. All right.
Finally, the star.
Yes, the star.
Ah, I like
North
this.
Korea.
I like this. It's a depiction of a caricature of Kim Jong-un, North Korean leader, and President Trump
Donald Trump.
having a chess game. But the chess pieces are mini rockets, right, with nuclear warheads. And here's the thing, there's a summit happening in Vietnam, I think
Yes.
This
today,
week. Yeah.
Yes.
right?
It's
And
the, I think it's the second summit.
it's
Yes.
the second summit. And I think the deal on the table is what they call
Denuclearization.
denuclearization. So, yeah, you
I
know.
was wondering what you were trying to say.
Denuclearization. English came on a ship. We
And
acknowledge.
they told you I'm from Muranga. You know?
It's okay. R's and L's.
And I think the depiction of this cartoon is everyone has everything hidden at the table, right?
But
There is
also,
Trump.
I find it interesting.
Yeah.
Trump has his hidden under the table.
Yes.
So
As
does
Kim
Kim.
Jong-un,
Yeah.
yes.
But their facial expressions are particularly interesting, at
Yes.
least to me.
Yeah, but one thing I've noticed, he's also making fun of Kim Jong-un's height because he's holding the rocket with two legs.
And his
And-
feet
and-
are really high up.
And
Well,
Trump
he's known
has
to
a
be
long-
known to be a shorter man, so
Yeah,
that's okay.
yeah, but I mean, he's on the table with Trump,
Yes.
meaning it's a power game.
It
But
is.
also the way they're depicted, you know, Kim is sitting up.
Yes.
He's ready to negotiate. I don't
Yes.
know what that implication, what that implies, but it
Guys,
implies that.
okay,
And
hold
look
on.
at Trump. Look at Trump.
Guys,
look
I'm
at
going
Trump's
to
expression.
have to stop you respectfully. I
Okay.
think we're overanalyzing a very dry picture.
It's true.
They're playing chess. Donald Trump looks smug. Kim
Yeah, he's very
Jong-un
smug.
also looks smug. I mean, there's nothing more, nothing less.
It's what it is.
It's what it is. I think it's a very literal,
Yes.
but that is
Is
my
it
opinion.
effective?
I think, yeah, sure.
But it is not. It is neither satirical nor pessimistic.
Oh, not satirical, not pessimistic.
Is it humorous?
Nah.
No.
So is it effective but dry?
Sure, I think
Yes.
that is a compromise we can take, yes.
Yes.
It is effective but dry.
Yes.
For that reason, we don't toss it, but we don't elevate it either.
I think if we were to compare this to what we have in the Standard today, the Standard has a higher level of
Intelligence.
yes, intelligence.
Maybe what I think he really tried to mean here is this chess game is a dangerous one. If one person renegades on a deal, it possibly could mean drawn out nuclear war,
Okay.
right? And that,
Okay.
that has its own ramifications. But then I don't want to go beyond that.
Might I throw in another opinion, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sudan is very close to us in terms of just distance, right?
Even
I
the
believe-
closeness of the issues.
Exact closeness of the issue.
So
For
do
that
we
reason,
say that
Yeah.
today,
I
in
am-
a record-breaking
I am
way,
putting down my African food.
2J is proposing Gado
I am.
for the cartoon, the winning cartoon.
Because I am an
Jesus.
African, I don't know who Donald Trump is, I don't know who Kim Jong-un is, but I know al-Bashir and he's my neighbor. So,
For that reason, the
The winning cartoon.
from Gado,
I agree. Bravo.
and on that note, this is the winning headlines. See you tomorrow.